this piece, The Black Stork, is part of my body of work called Last Calls, which was inspired when I heard the last mating calls of a male oo bird. They're called Kauai oo birds. And hearing the last vocalizations of a male reaching out to a non-existing female was just totally gut-wrenching to me. And hearing those last voices, knowing that this is the last male of the whole species and that this is the last voice of this creature, of this species forever, was just so moving to me and inspired the whole project, Last Calls. And then I started researching and learned about the Cornell Lab of Ornithology in New York, where they house the bird calls in a library, and just the whole notion of voices of birds being stored in a library and extinct voices being stored in a library was just so poignant to me. And that's where I started photographing the sound waves of the patterns of the bird calls and then stringing them into phrases, if you will, almost like another language of hieroglyphics, but bird hieroglyphics, bird vocalizations. And I started out with several different parameters. I did the 5 most threatened birds of North America, and this was a commission to do birds that were in Italy, and I did the white stork and the black stork. But I tended originally to focus on birds that were threatened or endangered rather than extinct, because I wanted there to be a sense of hope for these birds and to give kind of loud, colorful voice to their vocalizations. And in order to kind of speak for the birds, I always try to use the most vivid, unusual, unexpected color from the bird. It could be the skin, the plumage, the eyes. And that instinct for me came from hearing one too many times someone say, like in the case of the Florida grasshopper sparrow, which is one of the 5 most threatened birds of North America, why save that dumb brown bird? It's just a silly little brown bird. And I kept thinking about that, and it was so irritating to hear that ubiquitous refrain that I kept thinking, okay, we're going to show that birds have so many varieties of colors and how vibrant they can be. So you don't think of the California condor necessarily as hot pink, nor the storks necessarily, but their skin is this hot pink color. So I always use a natural color from the bird, and then I tone the sound wave patterns of their calls with the color of the birds themselves to kind of give the birds a voice, if you will.